Hi, everyone. It's Sandra from Sandra Says. And on this edition of Ask a Haitian, we're asking a Haitian politician. So our guest today is Bergson Councilman Berg, as he's affectionately known across New Jersey and East Orange. So, Councilman, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sandra, thank you. Yes, hello, Ask a Haitian viewership. My name is Bergson Leneus. Everyone calls me Berg. I'm the councilman for the city of East Orange in the 3rd Ward. I am the first ever elected Haitian official in the city of East Orange. So, I wear that with a badge of honor.
Awesome. So, as we discussed, it's Haitian Heritage Month, the month of May,
Correct.
And for you being the first Haitian, and for those who don't know the demographic makeup of East Orange, can you tell us what the Haitian population is like in East Orange?
So, we have, it's a 3.9 square mile city. We have roughly 65,000 residents according to our last census. We know that there's more than that, but, unfortunately, especially in community, we're considered a hard to count community. So the official number, according to the census, is 65,000. But if I had to take a wild guess based off of our schools and our things like that, I would say roughly out of that 65,000, about 20 to 25% of the population are Haitian-American.
Okay, so you touched on two things that I also wanted to talk about, the census. So this time, I think it's for the first time ever, the census is now counting the Black population as far as nationality. So it's including Haitians, Jamaicans.
Correct.
So how important is it for the Haitian people to be counted in this census?
Oh, it's very important. It's critical. I hear every day from people in the community about the lack of resources. Even in my day job and things like that, I see that we are suffering. We are behind in terms of resources. There's a lot of resources for other non-English speaking communities, and to have this many people in one community and then this many people in a neighboring community, like literally tens of thousands of Haitian Creole speaking, they only speak English, people in the area, and not to have any resources for them, it's mind boggling. And it's something that we can only put blame to ourselves. So this time we have to take advantage of it. We can't lay behind. We can't, just ignore it. It's here and it's now. I've actually been, unfortunately, I'm going to say blessed with the fact that it's been pushed back, because if the census were to end today, we'd be lagging again. So luckily it's been pushed back to, I believe, August. So, we still have time. We still have time to make up, and we need to do it. I believe it's question number 9. And it asks you, how do you identify yourself? And then there's a drop-down portion.
Exactly.
In that
I've done mine.
And so write in, the fact that you are Haitian. So we need to do that. It's critical.
Okay, awesome. And then you also mentioned the number of Haitians that are in your community. So how is it that you are the first Haitian to be elected a council member? Is it that no Haitians ran, or did Haitians run and not get voted in? Because to make up such a large population of a city and to not be active in the politics of that city, I find it very interesting.
I think like I know, a lot of people in the Haitian community, there's 3 things. Well, what are those 3 things? The 3 L's of life. Yep.
Lakay, l'église.
Yep. Exactly.
There
is no other option, right? And so, those are the 3 L's of the Haitian household. And so I think that, they just prefer to work and do their thing, but not necessarily be involved, because for whatever reason, they see that as like the outside world, almost as if we're separate and apart from the community. And I think that's like the old school way of thinking. I think our parents' generation thought like that. But I think that you and I, our generation, the ones coming up, and, those that are raising their children now in this community, I think the times are changing. So I'm starting to see a lot more activity from the Haitian community. But it wasn't like that before in the past. And so my parents separately both came to this country in '74. And there was a large migration.
I love 70s Haitians. I love to meet Haitians who come here in the 70s, because they came to America in a very peace and love time. And I think that affected how they view Black Americans and how they view America. I feel like coming to America in the midst of like political uprising, you're like, oh no, y'all don't know how good y'all got it. Y'all should be in art. I think it kind of affected them in a way. Whereas I think 80s, the more, you know, studious, gotta go get a job, you know, it's a different variation between those who came in the 70s and 80s to me.
Yeah, there is no community on earth that isn't, you know, reared and shaped by their formative years. So a lot of the Haitians came in the 70s, they were shaped by what was going on in the 70s.
Yep.
And that's what, and that's how they helped raise us, you know, based off of what they went through in the 70s. And so because my parents both came to this country in the 70s, there were a lot of Haitians that migrated to East Orange in the 70s. And, you know, that my uncle especially was very big in the community in terms of trying to fight for the rights of, you know, Haitians and things like that. And then to see some 30 plus odd years later, you know, his nephew and my parents, their son, to be the first ever elected, you know, they literally cried, you know. And my uncle lives in Nevada, for an example, and he called me right after immediately, and he was just so choking up and proud because of he remembered everything that he went through and everything that he fought for. And so it was just like a humbling moment. It was a humbling experience.
Awesome. And can you tell us what it's like being a Haitian in politics? Have, you know, even though we have the 3 L's, Haitians love to talk about politics. They love to talk about government, but it's usually
that's the crazy thing, right? They love talking about it, but they don't like to be involved in it.
And ça c'est problème moi avec Haïtien. Yo parle, but action pas de parler. You gotta have both. You could talk about it, but you have to put the action. And I think you said a good point about we're in our bubble and we separate ourselves, because it's like you've been here since the 70s or the 80s, but you don't know your councilman. You don't know anybody in the community. You know that the bus, there's only one bus stop, but everyone goes to this one. And so it's like, well, if you would tell your council person, hey, we need one more bus stop so that the old person doesn't have to walk or whatever. But they'll talk about the politics. They'll tell you there's a pothole, but they don't know how to get involved. Like, how has your experience been in politics, just as a Haitian, maybe talking to other Haitian people, letting them know, hey, you should get involved either by running or just at least being up to date, or, you know, what has that experience been?
Let me just say this, you know, to all my people watching, listening, whatever platform you're using to view this, we can't operate in silos any longer. That's the way of the past. You know, we have to get engaged. We have to get involved. And for me, being Haitian-American, being somebody who was Haitian, brought up, you know, my first language, even though I was raised here, I was born here, my first language was not English.
Same.
And so,
I spoke
you know,
Creole
exactly,
first.
right?
Did they try to put you in ESL too?
I'm sorry?
Did they try to put you in ESL?
They did not, no. I guess by the time I started school, I was fine, I assume, you know, I don't remember, you know, so far. I'm an old man, so I don't remember. But so just in terms of me being from the community and me also being Haitian, there is a fine line that I have to and a cross that I have to carry, because I am truly East Orange to the core, but I'm also Haitian to the core. And so it's like I have to represent, and I tell everybody that no matter what I do, I bring Haiti with me everywhere I go.
There you go.
And so a lot of the policies, a lot of the events, a lot of the things that you're starting to see is a direct result of that. You know, it's a direct result of me bringing Haiti wherever I go. You know, we had our first Haitian Health Forum late last year, excuse me. We had our Haitian flag raising a few years running now. You know, it's just a lot of different things that we've implemented and introduced. We just had, you know, Learn Creole Online. That was a 6-week course I just concluded last night.
Yes, one of my friends actually took the course with her daughter. She's married to a Haitian man, and they're trying to learn Creole, and so they took the course. Okay,
yeah, so we had an adult version. And when we put it out there, I didn't think it was going to garner that much support. And lo and behold, like the first 2 days with minimum, you know, with minimum fanfare or anything like that, it just, you know, locked in, and we were able to close it out with with like a few hundred of registrants. And it was just like amazing to me that I was like, this many people wanted to know the culture and the language. And it just shows me that there is a need. People want to, you know more. They want to know the history. They want to know the culture. And that is something that I have to capitalize on and bring to the forefront. And that's something that I try to do every day.
Okay. And I will say, in addition to that of us not living in silos, because, and you also mentioned before, a lot of Haitians, they still don't speak good English.
Correct.
Or they don't read English. I know in past episodes and something I spoke with, it's the saying that Haitians, yo apon anglais na bouche moun. So the English that they know is English that they heard and not so much what they were taught, say, in a school setting. How have you tried to use your platform to get maybe those non-English speaking Haitians to really start engaging, even with like helping the outside community learn about Creole, but how about helping those Haitian people either, you know, finding out more English classes or putting things that they can read in Creole?
So it's funny you say that, because I started my political career, you know, as a board member, you know, for the East Orange School District. Within my second year on the board, I became the vice president. And then my third year, I became the president. I was the first ever Haitian-American to be president of the, you know, Board of Education in the city of East Orange. And so that was something that was near and dear to my heart. You know, it was like not only about the children and providing resources for the children, but also providing resources to the parents. And so we had ESL courses for the parents and things like that, but it was just about advertising it and making sure that people knew that this resource existed. And so we pushed it out to the people. I did tours. I went to the individual schools and I spoke to the people to let them know that, hey, we have courses in which, you know, we can help you learn English. We have, you know, programs at the public library that will help you understand how to do a resume, that will help you how to use Word, Microsoft Word, Excel, Access, and things like that. And that was just like my mission. And so when I tell you we work day and night on that to help try to bring as many resources to, again, not only the children, but to the parents of those children, because, you know, it's very difficult and humbling and it's somewhat embarrassing, especially when your children are coming home with homework and you don't understand exactly how to help them. You don't understand. It's difficult enough for us to speak English. Now imagine not being able to speak English and trying to help them with their math, trying to be able to help them with their English homework, their history, social studies, science, things like that. And so that was something that was very, very, very near and dear to my heart. And we fought and we fought and we fought. And we currently have programs in place to help our Creole speaking population because of
Which
that.
is really good. And you do mention like the helping with homework. And I think sometimes with the Haitian parents, it's just, they just assume, oh, you go to school, homework, you should just know how to do it. No, like that's not how it works. And I think it's because they're coming from Haiti and how the education system is in Haiti compared to America. It's like they're not understanding. So they can't help. Like my mother could never help me with homework. You know, my mother, unfortunately, she was not privileged enough to go to school when she was in Haiti. So she couldn't even help me if it was in Creole. So bad enough. So I'm coming home and I have to figure it out myself. Like, and so I can imagine, and I think sometimes in a setting, if you're a teacher and you don't understand the dynamic of a student who has a parent who doesn't speak English, they can't help them. The parent is now frustrated because, you know, Haitian parents, they get frustrated. Listen, you got two times to ask them a question. They're like, why you don't know the answer? So they get frustrated with you because you can't figure it out. They can't help you. And they asking you, go ask the teacher. And the teacher's like,
exactly.
Ask your mom. And you have to be sensitive to that of they can't ask their parent because the parent just doesn't have the skill set to assist them with that.
Exactly.
So, speaking about parents, when you told your parents you wanted to get into politics, what was that conversation like? Like, was there a moment that you said, you know, I want to get into politics, let me do it, then tell them after I'm done, or let me take them along for the journey? Because, you know, Haitian kids, we can sense our parents' reaction, so we trying to, I'll tell them later.
So I'm gonna get real for you guys, right? I'm gonna get real. I'm gonna get really real.
Don't embarrass the parents.
No, not even. So when I was 19, I had, you know, I got my girlfriend at the time pregnant, and I had my first daughter at the age of 19. So having to come before my parents to tell them that I got someone pregnant was probably one of the most difficult conversations I've ever had in my life.
Why
so when it was time for me, so when it was time for me to run for politics, it was pretty easy. They didn't like it, but I've been through the wars already with them. You know, I literally had four children, but I had four children by the time I was 26. And, you know, they were just so upset with me. You know, they just was like, listen, we don't understand what you're doing. You know, we paid too much for school for you.
Oh,
you don't understand
gosh.
this. Oh, you know, oh, beg, you kiss out fella. Oh, you're ruining your life. And I was just so determined to make sure that I proved not only them, that I proved everybody wrong. You know, that I was going to do it. I wasn't going to be a statistic. I was going to make my people proud. And so when I told them I wanted to run for politics, they weren't happy. But I really was so headstrong and positive that this was my dream and this is what I wanted to do, that I don't want to minimize it, but their opinion didn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, I went through tougher conversations than that, and I made it out alive. And so because of that, it gave me the strength to know that I can approach them with this, and I felt confident in it. And no matter what they said, it wouldn't, you know, keep me down.
So let's talk about that, because for Haitian kids, I think it depends, because I saw a meme once, and it was basically saying you have to disappoint your parents little by little, so that way when you have a big disappointment, they're like, you're already in this. Like, slowly but surely, your Haitian parents, you got to do a little, because if you're too perfect and then you make a mistake, it's going to be, but little by little, you know, you forget to take out the meat in the freezer, you mess up the ippies, they get used to it.
So you know what then? That meme was me. That was me. I was that one who had those little disappointments periodically. And then by the time I was 19, I dropped a big one on them, and they were, whoop, my mother passed out. She kicked me out the house.
Oh my goodness. But
my mom kicked me out the house.
It's just because I think for a lot of Haitian kids, it's that not wanting to disappoint your parent. So just imagine if you were just so scared to tell them, you wouldn't be the first.
Correct.
You might have been the second or the third, but not the first, if you would have just like, well, I don't want to tell them. Or I know they're going to, like I said before, sometimes we anticipate what people say and we just don't do it. Like, I know they're going to tell me not to do it, so I'm not even going to bother. So what motivated you to just not care what they say? Because I'm telling you, even us, our generation, the younger ones, you hear your parent in your head and you like, ugh. So how did you combat that? Like, what advice would you give?
I got people 40 years old saying, man, you know what? My mom, I don't know what my mom would think about this. And I'm looking at them like, what? You know, you're 40 years old. Do what you're going to do, you know? And it's funny you say that, because it's almost like we go through, and okay, I'm going to keep it real. So our parents growing up in Haiti and trying to find a way here, they experienced a certain level of trauma. And that trauma caused them to hold back and not, you know, push past that fear and that whatever it is that held them back. And so they passed that along to their children. And to the point where it's crippling us even in our 40s and in our 50s. And so, you know, we have to find a way to get over it and to push past it. Because at the end of the day, I think our parents only want us to be better than the way they were.
Correct.
And so I wasn't telling them that I was going to be out there. I was going to be a vagabond. I wasn't going to be a criminal. I wasn't going to do this. I may not have been a doctor, a lawyer, or
engineer,
a nurse, or an engineer, the way that traditional Haitian parents want their children to be. But I was going to do something to help my community, to help my city. And if they couldn't respect that, then they would have to deal with it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that's good advice. It's just because even me in my early 30s, it's just, I know people who just, that, even me, like my mom, like keeping it real, like my mom sometimes, like, I'm not even going to tell her because I already know what that's going to say, and I just don't want to hear it.
Can you imagine all of the opportunities you missed because of that mindset?
it saves some talking though. I think that's the thing. Like,
Nah.
Haitian parents will talk you to death. Like, you just be there like, oh, never mind, mama.
Yeah.
But honestly,
Sandra, listen to what I'm saying. Can you imagine the amount of opportunities that you missed out on because of that mindset? And that's not like germane to you. That's like all Haitian children our age. We've all experienced it.
Yeah, it's true. I think about that sometimes. Like, I do, like, not going to like summer camps. Like, I've gotten awards and stuff, and my mother's like, awards for what? We're not going to no people thing. Like, I make no. We like, I used to write poetry. My mother was like, we're not going nowhere. With people, we gotta pay money. We're not going.
Yeah.
Like, I used to do like college tour, like even sports. It'd be like, oh, it's in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania for what? Why are you going? No, you're not going. You be like, dang, yo.
Yeah.
So it is like we did miss out on a lot of opportunities, and I just don't want for us to continue to be stagnant, because life is long and it's short. You don't know how many you have left. So there's still opportunity to do the things that you want. But even at our big age, sometimes our parents, they like, girl, why you want to do that? Don't you want to go do something else? So we just need to like have these conversations to help us continue to push ourselves forward and just like, listen, mom, dad, I know you want me to do this, but I can't.
It's called breaking the cycle.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, it's like we have to break the cycle. And our parents did the best they could, you know, like, so I'm not like, you know, coming down on them or casting any this negativity or aspersions on them. They did the best they could with what they had. But in today's climate, the fact that we are adults, the fact that we have dreams, desires, we cannot be held to our parents' desires and dreams anymore. If you want to be a musician, go be that musician. If you want to be a politician, go be that politician. If you want to be an artist and just draw all day, go be that. You know, as long as it's something that you love, it's something that can help you provide for your family, then you got to do it. And that's my mindset. You know, like I don't look back. You know, like I said, the biggest thing that I could have told them, I told them at 19. And I think once that was like kind of lifted off my shoulders, you know, I've been rocking and rolling ever since.
Awesome. Ooh. So I have a question to you about culture. So how are you keeping the Haitian culture alive with your children? How are you, do they speak Creole? Do they go to bal? Are they into compa? Do they eat the food? Because that's the other thing. A lot of Haitians, either they assimilate or they don't, or even if they don't assimilate, they still don't really give that cultural history or input to their children. So in order to keep the culture going forward, we have to talk about it, the good and the bad and the ugly with our children. How are you doing that in your household?
So there's a few things that I can say that I'm ashamed of.
What?
Yeah. One of them is that my 4 children, they do not speak Creole. You know, their mom, you know, she did not speak Creole. So it was kind of difficult in terms of the communication for us. So my parents were their early babysitters. So the two oldest, like my oldest is going to be 21 this year, and I have the 2 oldest, 21 and 18. They understand Creole, but they will never respond back or or speak it. And my 2 youngest don't speak it at all or understand it at all. And that's something that I could say that I regret. You know, it's something that you know, at the time I took for granted. I didn't think about it. I was like, oh man, you know, they'll pick it up sometime. Mm-hmm. And they never picked it up. You know, life just moves so fast. You know, one day they're in your arms, you're looking at their beautiful eyes, and then the next day they're 21 and in college. And so, you know, they've taken French in school. So especially the 2 oldest, they understand French, they understand Creole, but that's one of my biggest regrets. But in terms of the history now, they know the history. They know their history. They know, you know, they know the music. They listen to the music. But the speaking is probably my biggest regret. You know, I live, talk, breathe, promote, you know, our Haitianness every day, all day. And, you know, if you ask them, you know, what you are, they'll tell you the first thing out their mouth is Haitian. So.
Okay. So what was, because I think that's another part of it too, when it comes to learning Creole, it's that we all assume that we'll pick it up. Like for me, when I went away to college, I was like, my Creole's fine. But I spoke English exclusively for months and months on end until I went home and I'm talking to my mom and I'm like, wait a minute, I forgot what the bathroom means. Like, so it is something, if you don't use it, you will lose it, and you just assume it'll always be there. But it's a language, it's a muscle, it's a skill. So in your household, when you were growing up, did you speak Creole heavily? Were your parents trying to make sure that you understood Creole and spoke Creole?
Yeah, I think that you know, with every generation, you know, you lose a little bit. So like my older brother and I, we speak Creole, we read it, we write it, you know, understand it. And then the brother behind me, he's a little bit, you know, he speaks it a little bit, understands it a little bit. And then my youngest brother doesn't speak it at all. And so it's something that when we were growing up, my parents, especially with my older brother and I, they exclusively spoke Creole. Then by the time, you know, they got to my younger brother, they started speaking English. And so that's how you lose a little bit of that identity, I guess, you know, with each generation. And so that's something that you know, I had all of my aunts and uncles, you know, because we had a house, a lot of my aunts and uncles and relatives, my parents sponsored them. So they came and they lived with us. So at one point, up until I was about 18 or 19, I exclusively spoke Creole in my house. But then when I left the house and got my own house, again at the age of 19, English became the primary language. And then my English just got my Creole, got progressively worse throughout the years.
Understood. I think
because
that's
it's not
something,
as active.
Right. And I think that's the thing that as I've continued to talk to Haitians, do these interviews, is just how can we keep part of the culture going down? Because for some of us, it's the cooking. Like, when's the last time you cooked the Haitian meal? And I'm like, you know how long it takes to cook some? But that's part of the culture. So it's like, okay, well, let me pick at least 2 Haitian meals that I like to cook and cook those. Because you don't want to lose that essence of your people. Because as you said, each generation will lose a little something. Because my theory is, by the 3rd Haitian child, Haitian parents get tired.
Yes.
So they're like, listen, do what you want. They tired. Like, they done raised 2.
Yep.
And the 3rd Haitian child is always a little either more Americanized or more whatever country you live in. That 3rd child is like, look, the baby.
I'm telling you, my parents had 4 children, 4 boys.
Oh, they was tired. Y'all wore them out.
Yeah.
You knew y'all
so by the 3rd
out.
boy, you know, like, we couldn't do different things. Like, you know, like my older brother and I, we couldn't go to the prom. We couldn't, you know, we couldn't have friends come over our house.
No, me? Oh, yeah, you know Haitians not letting you let the friends at the house. Oh, no.
We had to sneak and listen to certain music because, you know, rap and hip-hop was big and R&B.
Music
we
bum?
couldn't listen to it. Kisa?
Music bum.
Oh, music bum, exactly. Music American. And I had to sneak to listen to music, right? And so it was just so crazy that by the time my 3rd and my youngest brother, the 4th one, were around, they had all of those pleasures and luxuries that we did not have. And, you know, if you build a sense of resentment, too, you'd be like, you did what? You going to the prom? You got friends over. You know, I would come home and see their friends over. And it was just something that always just, like, bugged me out. And it's real. And it's like that with just about everything. By the 3rd and 4th child, you become lax in whatever it was that you were doing. It's just natural.
Because they evolve. Yeah. It's just like seeing your parents become grandparents. And like my mom, even though she's not a grandmother through me, but she takes care of a whole bunch of kids. Like she's everyone's surrogate mother. So to see my mom with my little cousins and they calling her grandma, like my cousins took my mom to their grandparents' day. And
really?
I was like, my mom? Yes. Like they love her. And then the thing is that I know my mom. If this was back in my day, my mom's not waking up early. She's not getting dressed. She's not talking to no teachers. But now she old. She relaxed. She's like, listen, I'm gonna go meet the teacher. And you're like, wait, you got a lot of free time now. I guess because she's retired too. So it does bug me out to see her in such a relaxed setting. She's like, oh, they went to camp. I'm going to help them. They can go to camp? I didn't get to go to camp. Not sleepaway camp.
Exactly. And that's the crazy thing, like I said. And at the time, you kind of bugged out by it. You know, you can maybe build a little resentment about it. But then once you have your own kids, and like now I have 4, and so I see that, and my mother looks at me like, yeah, see, you wouldn't let the older one do that. And I'm like, oh snap, she's right. You know, and I'm like, you know what, you're right, Mom, you're right. I'm sorry for everything that I said to her.
Right, it's the trial run. You gotta see how loose you can get. You can't be too, I guess you can't be too relaxed in the beginning. You gotta be more stringent in the beginning, and then see what works and see what doesn't work, and you can be a little bit looser. So in regards to a little bit back to your politician days, are you friends? Is there like a Haitian coalition of politicians you guys get to, I mean, I don't know, you have secret Haitian people meetings? And just talk about how to get more Haitians into politics and just getting us more active, either by joining in or just being more involved.
Yeah, so you know, again, this is a real conversation. So there is a group of us that are roughly around the same generation that are trying to actively build a coalition. Like, we're friends, you know, and you know, we talk all the time. We support each other's events all the time, but we want like a unified, uniformed type of coalition that you just mentioned. There's a lot of people across the state, some great, amazing people who are warriors in this battle, who have been fighting for, you know, for us for a long time. And there are the forefathers who came here to this country in the 70s and the 80s. And there's been some type of a divide between the two, you know, between the, you know, the 30 to 45-year-olds and then the older Haitians. And that's it's a little troublesome because, you know, that just shows again, you know, the divide within us, and we can't properly progress if we don't. So hopefully we can be you know, have something that will, you know, bring us together in terms of bringing both generations together for the greater good. But right now, again, there's a coalition of people that are more my generation that are really trying to do something. You know, one of my childhood friends, family members, her name is Nadej Ricketts. You know, she called me about a month or 2 ago actually before this pandemic started. And she just said, you know what, we need to make it something official. And, you know, that's something that's in the works, but it's not official yet, as of yet. No.
Okay. And for those who are interested in getting involved in politics, because local politics is where it's at. That's your founding, you know, it's your foundation. Like, of course, presidential elections, but if you live in a city, you live in a county, that's where you need to be involved in. What are different avenues of getting into politics? And I think people only look at politics as far as your council member, but there's other avenues to get into politics. What are some ways that you would advise those who want to get into politics? Because you can, like you said, you did the school board, you're a councilman now. What ways can our generation, young Haitians, older Haitians, you know, even those that, you know, they came here early, but now they see there's a need in their community, how can they get involved in politics?
So local politics is the lifeblood of America. You know, when you hear me speak, you hear me talking about local this, local that, local this, and there's a reason why. You know, we as a community have to support each other. And so one of the things that, again, not to cast any negative aspersions or anything like that, one of the things the previous generation did not do is they did not properly pass the torch down. They did not properly teach us the ways, you know, teach us, you know, and tell us some of the mistakes that they made so that we don't make those same mistakes. And one of the things that if we, my generation, you know, follows that trend, then the next year there's going to be a divide between the generation coming up after us. And so shame on us if that happens, you know, shame on us. And that's something that we cannot let happen. So I know me personally, I'm in the schools heavy. You know, I'm actively there. You know, I speak to a lot of the Haitian student organizations in the East Orange School District. You know, various schools have them. I'm really trying to engage with the Haitian student organization at the various universities as well, because we have to make sure that the generation knows that we are here, that they have access to us. You know, we're not operating in silos. So if I made a mistake and I learned from that mistake and I was able to evolve from that mistake, I should be able to speak to, you know, I'm going to mention his name, Carl Kazoo from King University. He's the Haitian student organization at King University, and say, hey, bro, this is what I did. This is what I didn't do. But, you know, also, I'm going to be attending this meeting. I would love for you to attend with me. Hey, bro, I'm going to be going to the gym. Come to the gym with me. Those are the things that we need to be doing. We need to embracing and engaging. And those are the things that I've been doing, you know, throughout my career, because I am the first Haitian-American elected official. I'm the first Haitian-American to be board president. But you know, part of my French, I damn sure don't want to be the last. And so it is my mission on this earth to ensure that we have more Haitian Americans elected to office, Haitian Americans, you know, leadership in the community, Haitian Americans in prominent positions of power to help ensure that the Haitian agenda is delivered. And that's my mission.
And as you mentioned, going to the gym or taking them to events, you're talking about networking. And I think that's something that is maybe, like, I know you mentioned you didn't want to disparage the previous generation, but sometimes I think they didn't know. And by the time that they did know, it was maybe too late to pass it on. Like, they didn't really know about networking. They didn't really understand it. That's not something that's, you know, maybe they were doing in Haiti. So when they come to America, you got a language barrier, you got to get a job, you try to send for your family. Networking is not on your top things to do. So because they didn't teach us that, we had to learn it another way. So what you're talking about is networking. So what ways
it's not only about networking too. It's not only about networking. It's about being humble as well. It's about being, you know, having accessibility, you know, people having accessibility to you. It's about networking, humbleness, accessibility, and passion. You know, it's about that, because if we don't have those characteristics, and if we're not able to parlay those characteristics into the next generation, there's going to be a disconnect. And we cannot disconnect. The days of disconnection are over. The days of dividing are over. We need to come together. I need to be able to pull that person up, and you know, and have that person pull the next person up, and so forth and so on. And that's the only way. And you know, one of my favorite terms, you know, that you like to say is that, you know, relationships, you know, you got to build relationships, you cultivate relationships, and through the networking process. But if you are somebody who takes advantage of people, if you're somebody who is arrogant, if you're somebody who doesn't listen, you know, if somebody who just doesn't see the bigger picture, you know, you can't, you know, networking all day is not going to help. So that's why you have to have those other intangibles and characteristics that I spoke about, along with the networking, to make for a true connection.
Right. I like the accessibility part, because I think that's something, it is, you know, we're speaking directly to Haitians, so of course I don't want everyone to get all upset. It's not just a Haitian thing, but it is like,
Sandra, let me just say
something. The accessibility thing is because some people just make themselves so hard to get to know. Like, oh, email me, and you're like, okay, I'll email you, and they never show. And it's like, you have to make yourself accessible to people, and you know, you have to humble yourself. Like, I think those other tangible you mentioned are so important, because some people just I don't know if it's not innate to them, it's just something that they're not used to, but they just don't know how to be that person who's just like, oh, I want to learn what you do, take me along with you, or how can I be of assistance to you? And it's like, no, they're trying to hold you to because like you said, the day of the divide is over. If I can't help you and you can't help me, it doesn't help our community. We all have something that we can give to each other. So there's no need in me trying to like dim your light or not help you. Like, oh, Sandra, I know someone who needs a host. They want, and you know, any first time. And I'm like, no, I don't know nobody. No, but I saw you did an interview with Berg. No, I don't know him.
Yeah, it's like, my resources are your resources. You know, if there is anything that I can do to help you, and let's say, for example, you have this platform and you wanted to explode, you wanted to get bigger, you wanted to make sure that it gets to a wider audience, I'm going to try my hardest to make sure that you have that, you know, that my resource become your resources, that your platform, you know, I'm going to take it on as almost like it's my platform. And I think that's the mentality that we have to have. in order to be truly successful. And unfortunately, the older generation, as you said, again, I'm not casting any aspersions or anything like that or being negative, but they didn't know about that. No one taught them that.
Mm-hmm.
And so shame on us for not teaching us that. And just going back to what you said earlier, when you said, oh, I don't want anybody to get upset. No one should be upset about talking about, the Haitian agenda. You're not saying that, you don't care about any other agenda, or you're not trying to support any other community, because, me as a politician, I support every community. I don't care what you are. I support you because I'm an elected official, but you best believe that I'm also going to support my Haitian people.
Right.
It's important to me, and I'll fight this to my dying breath, that our Haitian people have a seat at the table. It's important to me that our Black and brown people have a seat at the table. And I'm never going to apologize for that. I'm never going to apologize for that. And anybody who doesn't like it, unfortunately, that's on them. But for me, I will always continue to promote. I will always continue to push. I will always continue to scream from the top of my lungs who I am, where I'm from, and what I do. And that's just how it is.
And I think that it's a great thing. I love to see the continued proud Haitians. It's just, we have a Haitian agenda. We are different. We're not a monolith, just like Black people aren't a monolith either. There's an African agenda. There's a Jamaican agenda. There's just things that are specific to our community. And if we don't address it, we don't get taken care of. And then it's like, it has to be, we can't not get involved. We can't be too afraid. And not say that everyone has to be in the forefront, but there's ways that you can help. There's ways that you can support a candidate or provide some information, send a letter, do something. Because I think what has been happening is that we play the scapegoat, not the scapegoat, like we just on the sideline. Like, well, if it don't work out in America, I just go to Haiti.
Correct.
If it don't work out, I got somewhere else to go. But what about everybody else? There's some people who don't have any other place to go. So we can't just let them fester because we don't want to get involved in any way. But do you have any last parting words, any words of encouragement for our Haitian people, our up and coming, future politicians, anything you would want to say to them just to help them stay encouraged and be proud to be Haitian?
Yeah, first and foremost, happy Haitian Heritage Month. To all my people out there, we are, our homeland is, in the history books as the first free Black nation in the Americas, in the Western Hemisphere. And so that badge that we carry, that crown that we carry, it comes with a price. And, our people have paid for that price back home. And so we as, children of the diaspora, the Haitian diaspora, we have to put aside all of our differences. We have to make sure that we work together to provide quality resources, support, and love to our people. So that way we can take that, all of those things, those qualities, and then send it back home and help support our motherland and, our homeland. And it's critical and it's important. And it's something that I'll do to, again, my dying breath. I am Haitian-American. I was born here. I was raised here. But, Haiti is coursing through my blood and in my vein. I will never forget her. And so I just implore everybody, that's within the sound of my voice, just to continue the mission, continue to support, continue to promote, continue. If you're doing anything positive, I am here to, be, somebody that you can lean on. I think my track record says that, everybody who knows me, even people who know if I hear that something's going on and it's positive and it involves Haitians, I'm there. Whether I'm in front of the camera or behind the camera, I'm there. I promise you I am. And so, we just need to have more people that think like that. And if we continue that, we will be in great shape in, the coming years. And so, you know, Sandra, I just want to say thank you for having me. You know, this is an
you're very
amazing
welcome.
time. You know, we started right on time. We started right on time. Can you believe it, people? No, I'm joking.
Listen, look.
Yo, listen, like 7:30 was like, bam, you know, let's go. But you know, I just appreciate the time. You know, I appreciate the time to tell my story. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I've done a lot more good. And, you know, I hope to continue to do that good. And I hope to continue to spread love and positivity everywhere I go. So,
awesome.
You know,
Thank you so much, Councilman. Now, one last thing. Do you have anything you need to plug? Are there any organizations that people need to get involved on? How can people reach out to you? I'm sure people are going to be reaching out. They want to know more about the first Haitian Councilman. So how can people get in touch with you, or do you have anything you want to plug? Because, of course, it just happens that way. People have things that they're doing that they need involvement with.
Yeah, so you know, if you can reach me on social media, my Facebook is Councilman Bergson Leneus. That's Bergson, last name Leneus. I will be soon getting back on Instagram, but my Instagram is Councilman Berg Leneus. You know, my email address is bergson.leneus-nj.gov. And you know, my phone number, I'm gonna give you my phone number too. Hey, listen, I'm here. 862-253-8141. And I'm telling you this, and I'm not somebody who just talks a good game. I'm somebody who actually lives it. And so I'm accessible. I'm here. Whether you need some type of support in terms of your community events, I'll be there to support. Whether you need a recommendation letter, I'll be there to support. You know, I'm you know, whether you need just advice.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Them recommendation letters, especially with COVID-19, you can't come outside, and you gotta listen.
You know, I'm telling you, and again, my track record speaks for itself. Those who know, and they know that I'm not just speaking it, I'm living it, and I'm, you know, and you know, that's what it is. So hopefully, you know, I'll be seeing you guys soon. You know, please reach out to me. I'm definitely somebody you can talk to, you can approach. I don't care where I am, what I'm doing. I'm here for you guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. And that's been Ask the Haitian.